Okay, so it just occurred to me that maybe it's time to post a complete quick video on installing a single Yoppsicle step by step. And so I don't want to assume anything. I mean, this is only the second set I've installed, but I've done this kind of thing for a long time. So anyway, we're going to start with this socket right here. As you see, the base is connected to the braid. And in this case, there's also some wires connected, which often is not the case. This last one I put in, that was not the case, and that's going to be the way most of these are on the back of your playfield. So what I usually do, and don't get ahead of yourself, do it one socket at a time. Don't start unsoldering wires and then you're going to lose your place. But just go ahead and unsolder the lead here on your socket. Put that off to the side, and a lot of times a nut driver won't fit entirely down on the screw due to the solder being applied sometimes as much as to the solder would be on the braid, on the bayonet socket base, and the screw as well. So what I usually do is, if that's the case, and I think this one will turn, but I don't, again, but in this case we'll go ahead and get these wires out of the way. And got some solder there. It's also good to have a solder sucker. It's just a cheap one, does the job. And so basically your basic tools, your 1/4 inch nut driver, in my case a set of hemostats, which is great. If you don't have those, some fine needle nose pliers, just helps you work around things a bit. Some Q-tips and some cleaner. I like LA's Totally Awesome cleaner. I use that stuff all the time on various aspects of pinball, so among other things. So in this case, you can either, you can heat this up, solder it, get it away from the screw, but sometimes you have to do this. Get your nut driver in place, heat this up enough to where that nut driver will fall, and just turn it a little bit, fall into the screw, okay? And you might get it, might take you a couple tries, but you can work with it. And in this case, get enough down there where you can actually turn that thing. I'll block your view. So, but you'll figure it out. You'll find yourself, get your rhythm going, and next thing you know, you're just busting this thing. And there's about 47 to install on here, and I've already done 7, so I got a while. So anyway, you got that loose. Just get it unsoldered. Get the base unsoldered from the braid. So you got that, and just put it aside. I'm throwing them all in the trash. I'm keeping the bulbs, but I'm throwing them all in the trash. So, and then take your solder sucker, might clean up, because sometimes these braids are tight, and it's a little tricky to get your Yoppsicle slipped underneath the braid. So just take your soldering iron and your solder sucker tool, and just kind of vacuum up the excess. Now again, in this case, I had solder dust go everywhere. So just kind of clean things up. You don't always have to do it, but once you get things going, you just will. It's part of your routine for each one. This stuff is great. You can get this at Family Dollar if you're in the United States for about $1.50 a bottle, and it's wonderful. Put it on a Q-tip. Get a little bit on a Q-tip. Get down in there. Look at that. See what I'm saying? Smoker's paradise. Get that cleaned out. Take the clean end. Kind of dry things up. Yep. Big difference. Very clean now. And your inserts illumination will love you for it. Just get away any crud cleared away. In this case, some fuzz from the Q-tip. I want to point out, now David Yopp, nice little touch here. There's a little, I'm not sure if the camera is seeing it. You see here. David Yopp put a nice little target on the back side. So that's where your LED is. So just get things in there, get it slipped under your braid. Now sometimes, since these are made a little differently than the original bulb sockets, you'll just have to do a little trickery. You may not wind up soldering it in exactly the same place, but you usually can. You just want to watch out for, other metal objects like that. And this will work pretty well but not quite the way I would prefer. And if that's the case, it's a good opportunity to demonstrate. I mean, here's the existing hole right there. However, you might find that, because you want to do the best you can as far as getting your Yoppsicle LED as direct over the hole as you can. And if it's, you know, so yeah, let me get some. I got some solder down in there. Okay. Come on. All right. So, find you a sweet spot here. Once again, I'm trying not to block your view. And in this case, it's over here. Okay. See, here's the hole. Wait a minute. Here's the hole, but here's where I really need to put this, right over there, because it's going to align better over my insert without blocking mechanical stuff, things like that. No big deal. You already know your screws are right size, and you won't go through the playfield. So anyway, just tack it down with your solder and your soldering iron. Both sides of it, I suggest. Okay. Fortunately, these things take solder really nicely. Cheers to David for developing these things. I understand that he originally did have these on popsicle sticks. So, get a better view here. So right there is where things are in this case. Most of the time, things will be fine. You won't have to make a new hole, but sometimes it happens, and that's okay. Get myself back framed up here. Okay, so it's right there. You're all soldered in. Take your nut driver and your screw and just make you a new hole. It's okay to do that. Just don't get too close to the insert. Try to keep it about as far away as you were originally. But most of the time, your original hole will be completely reusable. I've only had to do this twice on this machine so far. But it just results in better alignment. Okay, and in this case, let's not forget to resolder our two larger points of contact. So add your little solder to your pad. Put that right there. Get it heated up. Okay. Make sure your solder's shiny. You're all good there. Put your little solder on the negative pad. And take your wire and just put it in place. Okay, let's firm up. You're set. That's pretty good. These things are pretty forgiving. They have a nice wide beam, and they're going to light that insert up really, really nice. So anyway, doesn't look real pretty, but it will blow your mind when you're done, I promise you. And there's still several more to do, but that right there is the basis of a Yoppsicle installation. And then once you're finished, as you can see, voila, absolutely beautiful, bold, warm white lighting. Thanks to the Yoppsicle. They're easy to install, takes a little while. This Bally Star Trek of mine took about 2 hours to change out about 50 lamps. So anyway, but the effort is well worth it. They look beautiful, and be sure to clean those lenses out, those inserts, with a Q-tip and some cleaner before you finish your installation. Enjoy!